And we are live. Hey, everybody. I am
Hello.
super excited to be here today because, full disclosure, Tanya is my girl. And I'm super, very, very excited to be able to share her with you all. Many of you all know her already because she's on live all the time and she goes all the way in when she's on live. So you may already know Tanya, but I will introduce to some Tanya Tanika to you. And give me a second though, before I go there. We were having a conversation yesterday, day before yesterday, a couple days ago, sometime recently.
2 days.
Uh, and we were just like talking, and just in our regular chill conversation, so many amazing things came up. I literally was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to come on live with me because I need people to kind of hear this conversation that we were having together for the rest of the world." So I know that you're gonna get amazing content, and I wasn't playing. On the summary or on the description, I said, "Grab a pen and a notepad." Because when she starts going, it's like you'll want to capture some of these. And you, of course, it's recorded, so you can go back and listen to it again. But I recommend that you get a pen and a paper. So, for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Tish Times, and I own the Tish Times Sales Agency. I am the author of Networking is Not a One Night Stand and the Networking and Sales Playbook and Journal. So, I'm here today because forming, I mean, just rock star business owners, specifically female coaches, consultants, and agency owners who
Mhm.
are making huge money. They're doing really great. When you see them on stage, they got it all together. And when I have conversations with them, I realize that they're still struggling with the sales process. And so I'm bringing some rock star, amazing professionals to kind of talk through it. And today I have Tanya Tanika, and she is an international best-selling author. She was voted top 30 coaches to look out for in 2022 in the New York City Journal. She is a speaker, a TV host with a hybrid mentorship academy. It's called the School of Activation. And she strives to eliminate stress and cookie cutters to empower all her presence, all that are in her presence to walk in their most authentic self. Her desire is to activate and release thought leaders, coaches, and ministry leaders into the seven spheres of influence to show the world the value of showing up authentically and to create a world of transformative, healthy, high performing leaders that do business and ministry in truth and spirit. And she's my friend, and I'm glad to have her here today. So, Tanya, tell us something about yourself that I did not read, something you want us to know that isn't necessarily on the website or on the bio.
How about we're on our fourth crazy 75 hard
I
challenge
know.
together? Heck yeah, girl. We are on our fourth one. Call us crazy, but we had stopped after like what phase 2, and like it's almost you have to wait like almost a year for phase
Mhm.
3. We were like, I kind of
Oh,
like the structure. Let's do it again.
yes.
So
So,
we're crazy.
yes. So we just pressed the button yesterday. We're like, yes, we're doing this. So I said, happy day one. For those of you all who don't know what the 75 hard challenge is, go look it up, and you'll probably be like, those women are crazy. But but it's fantastic, and the accountability really makes a big difference for me. And I'm glad to have her as one of my accountability partners in this process. It keeps me healthy, keeps me structured, and it makes sure that I do the things that I need to be doing for myself personally. So let's talk a little bit about the thing that we came here for. The things that many female entrepreneurs, and I say coaches, consultants, agency owners, business owners at large, kind of struggle with as it pertains to the sales process. In your business, you convert high and heavy. I know you do.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to hear what your thoughts are about maybe, what are some of the things that you struggled with early on before you got your stride and you were able to really get a high performing or high converting kind of offer in place?
So I believed it was possible, but that was just because I was very administrative, a go getter, all of that. But I hadn't yet gotten the conviction like that. Like I knew it was possible, but it wasn't like in here yet.
Mm,
Like I was going through motions. So when I would sit before people, it was like an outer shell of it, and they weren't actually, it hadn't become, I don't know how you explain it, but it wasn't like this passion. It wasn't like this, I was living it and I had this like, yeah, this is it. It wasn't that. There was always in this back end like, okay, well, am I qualified? I mean, can I do like, so all I did was focus on the tools and the tips and the tricks and the look of it all until I like actually had to step in and believe it.
That is so good, because it sounds like what I hear you saying is that you had to get, first of all, clear on what you were offering in the first place, and
Mhm.
be able to confidently articulate that to the people that needed you the most.
Yeah.
And then you had to really get out of the head knowledge and get into the real, nitty gritty of actually doing the work.
Mhm.
And I find that it sounds like I see a lot of business owners, again, they have the intellectual knowledge, meaning maybe they come from corporate and they're like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
They see something that they're passionate about, but there's a disconnect. So how important do you feel like that clarity is for people to be able to go from that place of fuzzy, I kind of know what I'm doing, I'm really excited about it, to really being able to execute on a high level?
It's everything because you are the product. It's, you and I could both do sales, but you have something unique about you, and I have something unique about me. And so they would choose whomever they had that connection with, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to live it. You have
Mm,
to live it. And
yeah.
so you might call me crazy, but this is what I did um, to make sure that I I put myself in a very uncomfortable spot. I got in front of my audience for 6 months.
Yeah.
When I looked at my videos that I did in 6 months, I got in front of my audience. It came out to 364 times, and that was not including my private group in the teaching. I went live on the Clubhouse, I went live on all, and I forced myself to listen and record the hot seats and the Q&As when I started to see what, and then I surveyed my audience. Why do you follow me? Why do you like me? What clarity am I bringing you? They created my whole
Ooh.
brand. So
Wow.
because I wasn't able to articulate it. So you know how we sit there and we're like, what's the keywords? And what's
Yeah.
this? I said, forget all that mess. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to have them comment. I'm going to have them say, hey, if you need clarity, put clarity. If you need productivity, productivity. So whenever I did that, and
Mhm.
even when I got and I built my email list, I made them answer certain questions. So my whole brand, who I am, was it. It is what it is, but there was a lot of blind spots that I didn't see. So I'm like affectionately known as the activator.
Yeah.
I would have never given myself that name.
Yeah.
I'm known for clarity, productivity, and taking massive results. I would have absolutely never marketed that way. So I let them do it.
Mhm.
And then I literally took a whole Excel sheet and I copied their comments.
Mhm.
And then when my sales copy and emails and stuff, I literally took their words and put it in there.
So good.
And when that happened, I did it long enough to where I was in front of them so long, the passion grew, the conviction grew, I grew, everything happened. And then everything was clear, and I could go on a live stream and sell 10, 20K packages like that.
Wow. Well, first of all, there's so many nuggets in what you just said. So many. Because the thing I want to kind of drive home, because people see me in front of people all the time, and one of the things that I struggled with for forever since a little girl was that kind of introvertedness, not shy, but that kind of like, I kind of want to be in front of people, but I'm most comfortable behind the scenes, which stopped me a lot from getting in front of people. It stopped me a lot from showing up the way that I ought to. But you just said you did 300 plus live videos in front of people consistently, And that was able to help you to articulate your brand, enabled you to be able to gain that trust. So the people were buying those high ticket offers from you right off of the screen. Tell me what it was that caused you to be able to show up, number one, to show up like that, and then to show up like that consistently.
So I had to realize what was my power. Like, when did I make the absolutely most like transformational impact? And I love to write, I like to sing, I like to do like speak. There was a lot of different things. And it clicked when I remembered my highest point of activation. So the word activation actually means to be positioned in rank and order. So what was my rank and order?
Yeah.
Where was my spot?
Yeah.
And I realized that whenever I'm even producing programs, when I'm producing books, content, anything, when I am live and people are pulling on me, asking questions, and I'm able to be like, because if you know, you know, when you talk to me on the phone and I'll be like, hey, what's up, girl? And I'm all soft and everything. Everybody's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. That's just me. I'm pretty gentle and soft. But the live pulls out that the anointing. It pulls it out.
Yes.
So that's where I knew if I did not do that, I wouldn't close. I wouldn't impact. I wouldn't be effective. It wasn't enough. I even produce my books this way. I'll take something that I've done and then I just transcribe it because all the words and how I'm articulating. And so at that point, I knew that it wasn't, the sales calls were draining. I didn't want to get on and waste all this time on appointments. It wasn't me and my style.
Yeah.
So it was like putting on this cookie cutter. And I knew for me, I just jump and sell from the stage every time because that is where people just connected with me.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then it was like, listen, Lord, if this don't work, I'm going to give it all I got. And it's like I gave him an ultimatum, like, hey, so it wasn't even this like rocket science, like I was so compassionate and compelled and blah, blah, blah. No, I was obedient.
Yeah.
And I jumped out and I had blinders on. I had the masculine on. We talked a little bit about this. The masculine was the pure focus. Drive.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You know, and it's so interesting because something else you're just saying is, so one of the reasons a lot of female entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, agency owners, business owners don't realize what's missing in their sales process. They're like, there's a gap somewhere. One of them is many entrepreneurs don't want to do what we call self-promotion. They feel like it's icky, it's weird, it feels inauthentic, all of those things. But if you don't talk about you, no one else is going to. If you don't share your brilliance, if you don't serve in that way, whatever way works for you, then people will never be able to take advantage of the solution that you actually provide, number one. Number two, I love how you said the sales calls route just wasn't your thing, but being on a stage or being in front of people, virtually live, whatever, that's your thing. So it's like, figure out, if y'all are listening to this, I hope that you're getting this. It's like, figure out where's your lane. I'm like you. People probably think that I'm like high energy all the time, and I'm very similar. I'm really an introvert. I'm a lot more low key when I'm alone or with my friends or whatever. But when I'm on a stage, when I'm in front of people, that's where I come alive. That's where, I feel like is one of my gifts. And so I've also had to learn, it's like, okay, get in front of the people who need you the most and serve at the level that fills you and fills them. And don't try to do what everyone else is doing. Just because, Sally, whatever is doing, 55,000 calls a day, that may not be your sweet spot and it may never work for you. And you're going to walk away and say, this doesn't work. Sales doesn't work, all that thing. And that's not necessarily true. What about, another thing I find that is really powerful because you're online, and I might be wrong, but I think I see you every day. I think I see you online every day. Maybe you're not, but it looks like you're online every day. And so being online every single day and talking to your ideal clients
Okay.
creates a pretty powerful network. How important has your network been to your success as it pertains to being able to have those deeper conversations and serve them, making those offers? What would you say about the importance of having a powerful network?
Your network is your net worth. Have you
Right?
heard that? Come on. Okay, so how powerful is it? I'm gonna say it's literally the lifeblood, because I would rather sit in a room with other, individuals that are ready to mastermind. And I'll hook you up with this person. I'll hook you. You know what? Come on my, like, you're coming on to the Productive Entrepreneur coming up soon. Like, we're collaborating together. And
Mhm.
so when I say that that's so important, because we sharpen each other and we give each other ideas and brainstorm. The other aspect is, scripturally, it's like, woe to the one, right? To the man, woman, whatever you want to look at it, but woe to the one who falls and has no one there to pick him up.
Yeah.
We don't talk enough about what it really does to us, the becoming
Mhm.
of everything, and the times that we're just like, man, screw this, I'm done. It's
Yeah.
not worth it dealing
Yep.
with people's attitudes and all that and backbite, and it's not worth it.
Right.
And so, that part. Then when it comes down to, like, a couple days ago, of course, I build everything with my highest point of activation. So I'm building this kind of mini course. I'm kind of redoing it, but I need to do it live
Yeah.
because the revelation. So I went and I sent to my email list, and I almost booked out with one-on-one consultations in a matter of 24 hours if
Wow.
I did not have a network.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I know a lot of times we want to do all these ads and all that stuff, but the other thing is, it helps us connect face to face,
Right.
and we a lot of times can reach, you know, a different audience. And then I'll leave it with this. You mentioned something before about that they don't want to promote themselves.
Yeah.
They're not convicted enough. They don't
Mm.
really believe that their message is going to transform lives. And most of them are still in the I'm playing arena. They're
Yeah.
not convicted where they're seeing results. So what that means is they're insecure. And
Yeah.
so what does that mean? I went and I looked it up in the Webster's 1828, which is like the Spirit-filled dictionary. I love to use it. And it says, not secure, not safe, exposed to danger or loss.
Mm.
So here's the thing. If you're feeling that way, you automatically feel there is a danger or a loss or something like that. And that's 9 times out of 10 is because you're insecure, because your family and friends are going to actually see what
Ooh.
you're doing. And you're not strong enough and convicted enough to stand beyond and say no, which
Mhm.
is why you need mentors, coaches. But then if you want to fix that quickly, get off the platform. Like, everybody wants to launch on Facebook. Well, your family and friends are there. So, well, that's not smart. Go
Yeah.
somewhere else, Clubhouse, Instagram, whatever, and
Mhm.
go on a platform that's not used and start building there so that you can start going through the process.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. You talk about scripture. You know who I am, so I'm going to say it. The Bible says that a prophet is without honor in their own land, and so
Yeah.
many times we'll look, we'll think, well, my sister said this, and my mom said, I forget all that. That's not your ideal client. Go find the people who need you the most and serve them. And serving them might sound like getting online and sharing some of the content that you have to offer, inviting them into an offer. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But at the end of the day, I think the thing that you did and do really well is build trust, because that consistency of showing up all the time and serving at a high level and not feeling like, well, I can't give them too much because they're going to not buy from me, all those kind of thoughts that we have, it
Yeah.
builds trust. And if you're able to build trust when it comes time, when you have the right person in front of you, I always say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If you're in front of the right people and they need what you have to offer and they trust you, they're doing it, right? They're saying yes to you over and over and over again. So I love what you're doing.
Well, you know, people are, they're not self-developing enough. There's so much in their own face.
Yeah,
They're not getting out there. They're not self-developing enough. They're not spending enough quiet space and creative time, which we kind of talk a little bit about that privately in our conversations, like the feminine, the masculine, all that stuff. And so they're always, I'm going to run out of content. That's impossible.
right, right.
The reason why you feel like that is 9 times out of 10, you're probably copying somebody else's content.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I just realized I'm like, I don't have our names up there. So y'all know who I am. I want to remind you all that are just kind of jumping in or looking at the replay. This is Tanya Tanika. She is the activator. She is blessing our socks off today. And if you're looking at this and saying, but I want to ask a question, ask it. We'll respond to it if we see it now. And if we don't, we'll come back later and make sure that we address that for you. So just put hashtag replay if you're watching it later, and we'll make sure that we get right to you. All right. So confidence in business as it pertains to sales. Number one, have you, Tanya Tanika, the activator, have you ever struggled with confidence as it pertains to running your business, pricing appropriately, making offers, all of those things? Have you ever had any issue? I'm gonna venture and say probably no, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tell us what do you think?
Every day.
No way. I can't even believe that. But I'm so glad you answered that honestly. But I literally looking at you, I would never ever think so. Never.
And you know why? Because again, my highest point, what I do is I literally leave everything out on the table. I do not hold back. I do not say, well, it's going to be in my course, in my program, or, you know, all that other stuff. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
I literally show up with the thought in mind, right? And, you know, to serve and leave everything else on the table. And so I don't have the capacity or even the time to even entertain any of the thoughts
Ooh,
that would even try to interrupt, because I'm constantly trying to take as much advantage of the time. I'm hyped, I'm jumping around, I'm doing my best to leave it all on the table because I'm desperate for their transformation.
Woo! Wait a minute. You have to say that again because that is so powerful. Can you please say that one more time?
Yes, I am desperate for their transformation.
Oh my God, that blesses my heart so much. It literally makes me almost want to cry because I literally, it's like I want to see people change. I want to see them love their voice. And what I mean by that is being able to make that offer because they know it's going to change that person's life, their business, their pocketbook, blah, blah, blah. So you just touched my heart by saying that. I love that. So we're going to make sure that we highlight that. Desperate for your transformation. Keep going. I just had to have you say that again.
No, I love it. And what I look at when I say desperate, when you are longing, that means that I am not willing to have anyone be in my presence, and I could possibly be the one or the last time that they ever either see the reflection of God, and that they ever get an offer that is going to change whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I know that I have to leave it all out on the table. So am I nervous? Every single time, because I know the cost that they have to pay, the price that they have to pay because I've paid it. And if I can help midwife them and circumvent some, but still get them there and encourage them not to give up, then it's all worth it. So yeah, every day, because I don't take it lightly. If you're stewarding over your business, over your sales, over the people, these are people taking their hard-earned money. Right? Some of them is hard-earned, some of them is easy learned, whatever. But they're taking and they're willing to invest. When somebody can hand you their credit card, cash, they're desperate enough
Mm-hmm.
So with my longing and that that coming together.
It's powerful.
So, am I nervous? There's times that I walk off and I'm like, because I even forget because I've been such in a place of a high level, and I come down and I'm like, was that okay? Did I deliver okay? Did
Mm-hmm.
I give your audience that? What do you need?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be relevant at that time. I don't want to miss that mark. I don't want to miss that one person, even if it's just the one person that I'm talking to. So, yeah,
Love it.
am
Good,
I
good, good.
pricing it right? Am I doing it right? Is it effective? Is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, number one, you guys heard it here first. That even high performing, high earning, super successful business owners struggle with confidence and second guess and all of that. And some of the ways, that desperation for their transformation, which I'll never forget the way you said that, is a huge way to overcome that. And I'll even second that and say having some amazing systems, having some things in place that help you to overcome. It's like I don't have to think about every single thing because I have some things in place. And so those things, I think the coupling of those things is so important. I don't want to miss. Susanna is asking, what was the Webster dictionary that you were referring to?
So it's Webster's 1828. Noah was actually a spirit-filled man. And so it actually brings scripture, and it's the original dictionary. So I use that for my references, because once you get into the regular Webster's, it's been changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're winding down on time, and Lord knows we have to do a part two because this is so good, so juicy, and I am like really enjoying it. Um, what would you say? Because I told the people we're going to give them the thing. What is the thing, the biggest thing beyond what we've already discussed? Because there's what we've talked about, and there's probably a lot more. But what would you consider the one thing that most sales professionals, female entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, agency owners are
okay.
missing when it comes to sales? What would you say is that one thing or the biggest thing that people need to put in place to secure more of their perfect clients?
Oof.
I know. And so let me preface this by saying, I told her, I said, I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm not going to give you any like pre-notice. I want it to be off the cuff. I want it to come from my heart. So she's literally hearing this question for the first time. So this is like for real. She's not pretending for the audience. She literally is hearing this for the first time.
Jesus. You're probably not gonna like it. Okay. So, okay, I'm gonna say it.
Say it. Say
Feminine.
it. Say it. Say
Femininity.
it.
The feminine.
Ooh, say more. Say more.
So we talked about confidence, right?
Mhm.
And like right here, one of the definitions was trust, reliance applied to one's own ability,
Mhm.
one's belief in one's competency.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That is all a receiving. Many women don't know how to lean back
Mm.
and draw. Many women actually coach men and women the same, which you can't,
Okay.
because there's one everybody is masculine and feminine, right? We have the same, but men are more masculine, that's their dominant, and female are more feminine. And so what ends up happening is when you are in business, building and executing and administrating, you are predominantly in a masculine trait.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you go to sell and you are more in a receive mode, in a relational mode, in a lean back mode, that is a feminine mode.
Mm.
And you're not willing to. It's sales. What do? You listen, you
Mhm.
repeat, you communicate,
Yeah.
you receive, right?
Mhm.
That's why when you see men operate and they're very heavily masculine, and you feel like you just got sold something, and you're like, geez, oh my gosh. And it's like, well, you need this. Well, you don't need to talk to your husband. And he's just like, what in the world? But
Yeah.
when you talk to a female that's in her feminine, or a male that understands some of the qualities of the communication and kind of leads from that feminine aspect, what you'll realize is they're soft, they're gentle, they're confident, they receive, they're listening, they're in all of that. And so most of the time, like we talked about a flex week, we talked about the weekends, we talked about some of these things. You do not feed your feminine enough. So when you get in front of your clients that you would sell, you're very much in this desperation and okay, I got to make the sales and I got to pay the bill and I got to do this and I got to provide and I got to and my ego and that's all masculine.
Wow.
And you're not really built to handle that. You're just not. And this is just talking to women. So if I have to say anything, it would be that. Because I'll see women even get on and they look like who done did it and why when they're trying to sell. And then they got these excuses. Oh, my kids are this and my kid. Stop it.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids. Now one's a 22-year-old, 16, right? And my car's clean. My car is always like, I always still clean it. I still look presentable. I still do that even when they were little.
Yeah.
I don't know. Things are just out of order and things are chaotic. And so your household is not in order. And now when you go to sell, it's not going to be in order because they're feeling the chaos. That's why you need to be in feminine so my goal is always, am I in my feminine and am I pursuing peace? Before I get live, before I go anywhere, before I do all of that stuff.
I love it. Good gracious. I promise you've never heard this before. I know you haven't, because it's a very different perspective.
Yeah.
And it absolutely changes the game when it comes to how people receive from you, because you're in a place, again, you're there to serve. It's not that, I always say that people can smell desperation a mile away. And when we come from that other place, we're coming across as desperate. We're not confident in the way that we're articulating our offer. Many times I had a client once tell me, Tanya, she said, I was in the zone and I was like talking to them and having a great time. But when I went to make an offer or when I started talking about my pricing, she said my entire energy changed. And the client who the should have been client said to her, basically like, I was almost persuaded kind of language. Like you almost had me, but I felt your energy shift when you started talking about money. And so we have to step back and get really clear about who we are, why we're there. You know, is our purpose to be that desperate for their transformation, or is it we're desperate, period?
Well, we're bypassing. Here's the thing. I just said this a couple days ago. I posted this on my social media and I said, most of you guys who are uncomfortable, who talk too much are uncomfortable with the silence. And so many responded and they were like, I hate silence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because it takes a different kind of person, confidence and maturity level to be okay with the silence. So you're not okay. First of all, you're not listening to them. You're too busy pitching. So you're not able to take what they're saying and repeat it back to them. So what I hear is, in this program, you're wanting the transformation, you're wanting this. You're not even able to repeat it, number one. So you kind of lost them.
Yeah.
And then number two, you're sitting here and you're just so bypassing that when you say it's so I don't ever tell my price, my investment. I actually just say, okay, so are you ready? Let's go ahead, book your first time. Let's go do this, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, oh yeah, I just sent you the thing. Go ahead and sign and get everything going, make your first payment. How do you want to arrange that? And I'm with confidence. Then when they're like, oh, okay, I didn't know it was a $10,000 program or whatever. I'm like, yeah, isn't that exciting? Can you believe like you're going to get, and then I repeat back to them, this, and this.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just engaging with them, and I have the excitement and the confidence. Yeah. And I even if I say whatever I say and it has to do with pricing, I'm okay with the silence. So I'm like, aren't you excited? Okay, yeah, it's only $10K. Can you believe it? And I shut up.
Yeah.
instead of trying to prove myself afterwards. I have confidence. I know what it can do. You want to
Yeah.
know why? Because in 6 months, I did 360.
So true. And they told you. I love it. Good gracious. So once again, we'll definitely have you back. So,
Thank you.
can't wait. Thank you so much for pouring out, for sharing your heart, for being completely transparent, and for dropping bombs in this room today. So yeah, so for those of you all, once again, I'd love to hear your comments. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll swing back through and answer those. And if you're watching it on the replay, let us know. And once again, I will see you next week. I'll have another amazing guest, or have an amazing training for you. But we'll make sure that you have something of value to take away with you. And we'll see you all then. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Tanya.